President Donald Trump on Tuesday offered his first comments after his team and Ukrainian officials announced they've come to terms on a 30-day ceasefire agreement between Moscow and Kiev. According to Associated Press, the U.S. now needs to get the Kremlin to sign off. Now we have to go to Russia and hopefully President Putin will agree to that also, Trump said to reporters while on the White House driveway with Elon Musk and some of his Tesla vehicles. And we can get this show on the road, Trump said. The president also said he's ready to speak directly with Russian President Vladimir Putin, but said it takes two to tango. He told reporters he hopes the Russia-Ukraine ceasefire proposal can be solidified over the next few days. I know we have a big meeting with Russia tomorrow, and some great conversations hopefully will ensue, Trump added. The comments came shortly after the Trump administration lifted its suspension of military aid and intelligence sharing for Ukraine, and Kiev signaled that it was open to a 30-day ceasefire in the war with Russia, pending Moscow's agreement. The administration's decision marked a sharp shift from only a week ago, when it imposed the measures to push Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to enter talks to end the war with invading Russian forces. The suspension of U.S. assistance came days after Zelensky and President Donald Trump argued about the war in a tense White House meeting. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who led the U.S. delegation to the talks in Saudi Arabia, said Washington would present the ceasefire offer to the Kremlin, which has thus far opposed anything short of a permanent end to the conflict without accepting any concessions.
But very importantly, and I said it, Ukraine, ceasefire. Ukraine, ceasefire, just agreed to a little while ago. Now we have to go to Russia and hopefully President Putin will agree to that also, and we can get this show on the road. We can get this horrible war where 2,000-3,000 soldiers a week, every week, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 sometimes. I get the reports, and they're not American soldiers. They're Ukrainian and they're Russian. But people are being killed outside of that. People are being killed in the cities as things explode throughout the cities, and we want to get that war over with. So I think it's a very big. I think it's a big difference between the last visit you saw at the Oval Office and this. So that's a total ceasefire. Ukraine has agreed to it, and hopefully Russia will agree to it. We're going to meet with them later on today and tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be able to wipe out a deal. But I think the ceasefire is very important. If we can get Russia to do it, that'll be great. If we can't, we just keep going on and people are going to get killed, lots of people.
Is Zelensky invited back to the White House?
Sure, absolutely.
Mr. President, will you talk to Vladimir Putin about this ceasefire deal? Do you think you need to have a conversation with him to get the Russians to agree?
I'll talk to Vladimir Putin, yeah.
When will
I
you
want to
talk
get,
to
look,
him?
that's the other, it takes two to tango, as they say, right? So hopefully he'll also agree, and I really think that would be 75% of the way. The rest is getting it documented and, negotiating land positions, etc.
So you'll talk to him this week about the deal?
I think so, yeah.
So
And when do you
have the
anticipate meeting him in
ceasefire
person?
in place on the Ukrainian side. How close do you think then you are to a total ceasefire with
Well, I hope it'll be over the next few days. I'd like to see. I know we have a big meeting with Russia tomorrow, and some great conversations hopefully will ensue. The people have done a great job. Marco Rubio's been great. Steve Witkoff's been great. Michael Waltz. They're all, every one of them. They've really stepped up. They are into it. They want to see two things. By far, number one is death. The people that aren't citizens of our country, but they're people, just like you. They're people, and we want to stop. And we also don't want to give billions and hundreds of billions of dollars away. We're in there for $350 billion. And there was no reason this war would have never happened if I was president. So it's a very sad thing. Thank you all very much. I love Tesla.
High-stakes talks between senior delegations from Ukraine and the United States on how to end Kiev's 3-year war with Moscow opened in Saudi Arabia on Tuesday. According to Associated Press, the talks reflect a new diplomatic push after an unprecedented argument erupted during President Volodymyr Zelensky's February 28 visit to the White House. Ukrainian officials told the Associated Press on Monday that they will propose a ceasefire covering the Black Sea, which would bring safer shipping, as well long-range missile strikes that have hit civilians in Ukraine, and the release of prisoners. Journalists briefly entered the room to see the two sides as the meeting got underway at a luxury hotel in the Red Sea port city of Jeddah.
Are you open to a parking ceasefire?
U.S. President Donald Trump has promised to buy a new Tesla car as a sign of support for billionaire Elon Musk, who is close to him. Trump wrote about this on his social network Truth Social. According to the American president, Musk is doing a fantastic job. At the same time, Trump wrote, radical left-wing lunatics are attempting to illegally and collude to boycott Tesla, one of the world's most prominent automakers and Elon's baby. They are attempting to illegally attack one of the world's leading brands and the man who created it. Tomorrow morning, I will purchase a brand new Tesla as a symbol of support for Elon Musk, a true American innovator, Trump said. As reported, shares of Tesla, a company headed by Elon Musk, fell by more than 15%, erasing all growth indicators recorded after Donald Trump's victory in the presidential election. At the same time, American media reports on growing dissatisfaction in the U.S. with the actions of the Department of Government Efficiency headed by Musk. Musk acknowledged the hit to his businesses in an interview, saying he was running them with great difficulty because of his high-profile role with this administration. He told Fox Business that as head of Department of Government Efficiency, you're giving up your other stuff. Reports of vandalized Tesla vehicles and dealerships, as well as protests, offered evidence of mounting opposition to Musk hitting a boiling point. A drop in European sales raised alarm that Musk's presence as a political figure across the world was dampening the brand image. When people's cars are in jeopardy of being keyed or set on fire out there, even people who support Musk or are indifferent Musk might think twice about buying a Tesla, Baird analyst Ben Callow said on CNBC's Squawk on the Street. The situation is also heating up in Europe. Sales of Tesla electric cars have dropped significantly in France, Germany, and Scandinavian countries. And recently in the French town of Plaisance-du-Touch, unknown persons set fire to 12 Tesla cars at a local service center. The police are considering the version of deliberate arson, since the company had previously received threats. The total damage is estimated at €700,000. Similar attacks have been recorded in the U.S. In Massachusetts, attackers set fire to 7 Tesla charging stations, damaging nearby cars.